2. Anne sat back down next to her on the bench. I said, "Mallory." Her eyes went from half-lidded to round, and I saw that they were blue and rather glazed. She said,
"Pardon?"
"My name, that's what it is."
"Oh, right."
Air emptied out of her, a delayed reaction from the tension of the confrontation moments before. The glaze lifted off her eyes, and they seemed relieved, though still tired, and somehow old. Her hands came out and reached my hands and clutched them tightly in a cold grasp. She managed a smile, not much of one, but a smile. I said, "What's yours?" She released my hands, taken mildly aback.
"My what?"
"Name."
"Oh."
She swallowed.
Janet Tabor."
"Hello, Janet."
"Sorry I'm so dopey. I'm just a little shook, I guess."
"Understandable. I feel the same myself."
What did you say your name was?"
"Mallory. Mal."
"Mal. Hello, Mal."
"Hello. How would you like a cup of hot coffee, Janet?"
"Oh."
"I noticed you shivering. Come on. We can duck in Johnny's next door and grab a couple cups."
"I do have a bus to catch."
"Meyer over there'll come get us." I looked over at Meyer, who was slumped behind his desk, studying the penthouse. "Won't you, Meyer?" He said, "Screw you, Mallory." "That's his way of saying yes," I said. "Now, what do you say?" She smiled, full out. It was a nice smile. She didn't look quite so tired, so prematurely old, when she smiled that way. She brushed some blonde hair out of her face and said,
"Okay."
2 minutes later, we were sitting together in Johnny's Grill in a back booth, both sitting on one side, snuggled together, almost like lovers. But there wasn't much sex in it, really. Just the closeness of two people who have shared something, which we certainly had, thanks to Punjab.
"How can I thank you?"
She said. "You can't," I said. "A hero like me comes along once per damsel in distress lifetime." Martha, the manager of the place, who also waited tables during slow times, stopped by the booth, and I asked for a couple coffees. Janet touched my hand.
"Would you mind terribly if I had hot chocolate instead?"
I grinned, shrugged, and made the correction, opting for hot chocolate myself. When I looked at her, I saw she was grinning too, a playful grin, and even with the wan face with its prematurely deep lines around eyes and mouth, and roots marring the beauty of blonde hair that swept around her face in two gentle arcs, and eyes that had an old woman in them, even with all of that, she was a child who'd walked home from school in a snowstorm, and when the winter dark began to fall, got scared and cold. When she finally got home, her mother fixed her hot chocolate, and then she was better. That kind of child.
"I never saw that horrible man before in my life,"
she said suddenly.
"Ever."
"Listen," I said, "don't feel obligated to tell me anything you don't want to. No explanations necessary." In a way, I meant it. Momentary heroism or not, pretty blonde or not, I had no driving compulsion to get involved. As if I wasn't already.
"I'm telling you the truth, Mel."
"I believe you, Janet."
"It's just that it must seem kind of unbelievable to you that something like that could just walk in out of nowhere and accost somebody."
"Not so unbelievable. I just experienced it myself, remember? It must have been some weird, mistaken identity trip, that's all."
"They must have."
She looked at me, reached for my hand, and squeezed. She sensed my disbelief, evidently, despite my claims to the contrary.
"I'm not putting you